Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Shivachidambaram. I should have been here this morning, but I am thankful to all Harikara Devatas that I still have an opportunity to speak now. I want all of you, probably you have read through it, the Hindu Religious and Charitable Endowments Department and the Temple Administration are the best judges. This is not a statement made by the government or the HRNC commissioner or some other secular person. This is a declaration found in a judgment by a learned judge. And when does he say it? When an auditorium is sought to build in an ancient temple, a devotee moves the court saying that it cannot be built here. One, it's a modern construction. Two, this auditorium is not something that is required in a temple. It will only lead to dilution of the practices, etc., etc. The judge goes, into the many passages. He says, HRNC is the best decider. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Meaning to say, you are a devotee, you have no say. This is what I call alienation of Hindus from their temples. If you could bring it further down, the document. Even if on the basis of available materials, two views are possible. The view taken by the authorities who are familiar with the administration should get precedence. So the judge again declares, you are not familiar with the administration. Even before independence, you lost your independence regarding temples for more than 8 decades. They are in control. So their decision should take precedence. Further down. He also says the temple should not be treated as places of worship. Finished. It should be converted to center of learning. How? You remove all the inscriptions. You steal all the ancient artifacts. There's nothing to learn there. But it will be converted into a center of learning by building auditoriums. The civil contract would fetch you 30 to 40% commission. There should be an auditorium to organize such activities. Declaration of the judge. Now, with this, HRNC need not ask anyone else. They can go ahead and build auditoriums in every temple where there is open space. Why I'm saying this is how a devotee with a genuine grievance goes to the court and says, hey, listen, under the HRNC Act, you are only supposed to preserve and maintain temples vis-a-vis the structures. Vis-a-vis the images, you can only preserve. You can't add anything. You can't modify anything. You can't even paint the temples. But the judges think otherwise. So, who exactly have taken our temples from our hands? Is it the government or is it the court? That's my speech for today. Can we go to the presentation? You can put it in the view. Put it in the view option. Okay, government or courts. And it looks like I'm a serious contender for a contempt of court. Believe me, I am not. Next slide. If you see the picture, it's a picture of Shri Padmanabhaswamy temple, Trivandrum. Now, this is not how the temple looks. It's much wider, the Gopuram. The Gopuram built in Tamil Nadu style in Kerala is much wider, but I have constructed it here. May Lord Padmanabha forgive me for doing that. But to prove a point, I've done that. Now, when I was fighting the Chidambaram temple case along with some very big giants, it's like the bumblebee riding on the elephant's back. I was doing that. I had to approach a very senior counsel in Madras High Court for some interim orders. The HRNC officials were doing a lot of atrocities. We wanted to restrain them. So when I approached the senior counsel, who was very famous, he listened to me and I said, no, cannot be done. I asked him why. He said, this Article 26 is available only for minority religions. I had by the time 2010 beginning, I had only 1 year of experience in the HRNC Act and the Constitution. And I could plainly see he was not only wrong, but he is conditioned to believe in such a way. This was my senior counsel. He said that Article 26 is a minority right. But thinking retrospectively, he may be correct because it has become a minority right. Before the Constitution came, government had somewhat of a control in 600 major temples. Some 46 temples, including the Meenakshi Sundareswara temple, Arunachaleswara temple. What I'm going to talk is mainly about Tamil Nadu here, but that will show how things are across India. So Arunachaleswara temple, Payani Dandayadabhani Swami temple, Ranganath Swami temple, the symbol of Tamil Nadu, the Gopuram, is taken from Srivilliputtur Andal temple. That temple, everything was under government control before 1947. But post-independence, ironically, we lost some more fundamental rights. We had some rights of administering our own institutions, but after independence, after constitution, we lost them. Today, HRNC says we have 42,000 or 44,000 temples, and they are all under total control of the HRNC department. Not somewhat control, not somewhat, supervision or regulation. They are under total control of HRNC department. Previous slide, 1 minute. This is where my earlier, that Word document. No true devotee. Forget correcting the wrong, going to the court and winning a case. No true devotee can become a trustee of any of the big temples, be it Tirumala Tirupati, be it Payani Temple. In Payani Temple, the executive officer is also the trustee. Like in a company, 2 signatures are required by the directors. 2 directors have to sign to withdraw money from the bank or to pay somebody. If one director signs twice, will the bank accept it? But the court accepts it. The Payani EO is also the trustee. The Parsadi Temple EO is also the trustee, not just for a short period, for the last 44 years. The courts are very tolerant there. Next slide, please. So government, when it came from, when the constitution came and it was debated and all in Shurur Mutt case and other cases, please remember that the Shurur Mutt, government of India was an intervener. in the Sabarimala appeal, not Sabarimala, sorry, Chidambaram temple appeal in 1953 before the Supreme Court, government of India was an intervener. But they did nothing. They did not say this denomination is right is available for Hindus, sections of Hindus. They did not say anything. Can you come to the next? For 70 years, temple lands have been alienated. Temple lands. Why they are important? In Kerala, lands have been taken away in the name of agricultural reforms. In Tamil Nadu, Inam lands have been taken away. Pudukottai temples had 100,000 acres. Where are they? Tanjavur Raja Chatram is a Hindu endowment. It's a private endowment of the king, which should have become the endowment of his descendants or at least a Hindu committee, 32,000 acres. Today, the collector of Tanjavur has power over that, and he says there is only 2,000 acres left. Can you? Come on, please. Now, the Shirur Mutt original judgment was from the Madras High Court. Justice Satyanarayanan Rao and Rajagopalan Iyengar, they gave a fantastic definition, but even they went and looked into a dictionary meaning. They say Webster's, but I find the meaning in Oxford. But they did not misinterpret it as Supreme Court did. They came to a conclusion that different schools of thought in Hinduism, within Hinduism, are all different denominations. Saivism, Vaishnavism, this philosophy, that Advaita philosophy, Dvaita philosophy, and all that. And that was a correct view, but not the complete view. But when it went to Supreme Court looked at Oxford Dictionary. It gave 5 meanings, including denomination of currency and all that. And when it came to religion, a collection of individuals having a common name, it ignored. It quoted it, but it did not give any weightage to it. Then a religious sect or body having a common faith, organization, and a name. Now, Supreme Court did not say a religious sect having common faith, name, and organization, but subsequent judgment said that. So, sorry, the previous slide. The subsequent judgments took the Shirur Mutt judgment of denomination and it added a lot of padlocks, fasteners, bolts, nuts, and ensured that the denominational rights of Hindus are put in a coffin and buried. I'll tell you how. The SP Mittal case, Supreme Court added the words must be an organization, must have a common name, must have. Then the Dargah Committee case said the denomination should have had the right. It cannot bring back its original rights. You know, the Constitution gave a lot of fundamental rights, like right to life, right to property, which Indian citizens did not have, Indian subjects did not have, subjects of the British government. When they became citizens, they had many rights which are totally due. So why Supreme Court should say a denomination cannot get back its rights? It should have had it on the date of Constitution or date of independence. We don't know. And in the Nellore Marthandam case, they said if you are not established the temple, you are not a denomination. You cannot have rights over it. This is something totally alien to especially Tamil Nadu, where the Dharmapura Adinam, which came 400, 500 years ago, they have 40 temples, which are ancient temples, which were there before, well before the Dharmapura Adinam. Like Vaidishan temple, Vaidishan Koil, it is at least 1500 years old. That temple belongs to Dharmapura Adinam. So, unless you have established, you cannot have the right to administrate. This is another interpretation. Then Kashi Vishwanath Temple, K. Ramaswamy's famous judgment, the Saivites are not a denomination. Quoting this, Justice Rohinton Nariman said, Vaishnavites are not a denomination. So who are left? Then you have Shaktas and a few of the same. So applying same logic, you would say you're not a, you're a Hindu, you're not a, you cannot have denomination, period. Next slide. So why am I harping on the denominational rights is, Article 26, the denominational rights is a very, very valuable right, very important right. It has 4 aspects, A, B, C, D. The first 2 have to do with religious matters, of course subject to public order, morality and health. The second 2 has to have with administration of properties belonging to the denomination. So one is religious right, the second is administrative rights. These are available aplomb without effort for the minorities, for the churches, for the Muslim charities. Muslim places of worship are exempt from Waqf Act. But the charities come under the Waqf Act. Christians, their places of worship, their institutions, their charities, they have no legal regulation ever made for them. Beautifully designed, beautifully maintained a status. Now for Hindus, your place of worship, your mutt, your charities, and if the charities have hospitals and schools and colleges, they all will be under the control of the government. Take Parani and they have 2 colleges, schools and all that. In every one of them, the board of directors, the administrating committee is full of HR&C officials. I sent an RTI saying, by which authority you people are functioning as such? No reply. I file an appeal. Nothing happens. Then again I file a complaint. The commission asks them to reply. They reply saying, by which authority, they write down the question, and below that the answer is, we do not have any document showing it. Thanks. I'll see you in court. So, now we are coming to what the court did was undo our denominational rights, and what the government did is various HR&C acts. In the 1951 judgment in the Madras High Court, Justice Satyanarayana Rao and Rajagopal Nayangar, I am honored to repeat their names, great judges. In their wonderful wisdom, they struck down section 20, which gave power to the commissioner to have control over all religious endowments as unconstitutional. Okay, Supreme Court, the same matter goes, they uphold the section. There's nothing wrong in commissioner supervising the endowments. Thank you very much. What happens? Government adds 2 more words. Temples and endowments. So from endowments, it goes to temples and endowments, and today the commissioner has power over all Hindu temples because Supreme Court gave life to a section which was struck down by Madras High Court without seeing the consequences. And land acquisition. Now, denomination, another reason why it is so important is denominational gives fundamental property rights. The individual property rights is gone thanks to Indira Gandhi. 19(1)(f) is gone forever. Instead of that, Article 300A has come. But the fundamental property rights under 26 continues to be fundamental. If a temple has a property, if a church has a property, if a Muslim charity has a property, it's a fundamental right. But Supreme Court has again said, the Land Acquisition Act, if you're taking land for public purpose, you can take over, don't worry about the fundamental property right. You can take over temple lands. So, so-called agrarian reforms happened. Kodal Manikam temple lost 75,000 acres. The Kerala temples lost, at least in my estimate, about 275,000 acres. The result is there for all of us to see. And whatever lands left in Tamil Nadu, 5.25 lakh acres of agricultural lands in 1986. It is now 4.78 lakh acres after 30-40 years. நடுவில் சில பக்கங்களை காணோம். You can't lose 47,000 acres without any record, without any proceeding, without any. Most probably, these are all very valuable lands. Even today, the 4.78 lakh acres, at least 100,000 of them have become urban lands or semi-urban lands. Next slide, please. Just an example, in 1880s, the land holdings of Hindu charities. So Devadayam for temples in Coimbatore district. Now Coimbatore district has become, now government of Tamil Nadu is making every taluka district. So let's forget that for a moment. The erstwhile Coimbatore had Tirupur district also in it, maybe some other parts also. So temples had 1,12,000. So for Vedic educations and for the support of the Vedic teachers, another 40,000. And for chatrams and other. See, today you have temples right before your eyes, but there were so many endowments. Srirangam had 900 endowments. Tiruchendur had 1,200 endowments. If you come to think of it as each endowment having at least 1 acre of land, the number of lands they hold will be in thousands. The endowments have disappeared. We don't know how they disappeared. I'll give you an example. There is an endowment with some 14 acres near Viluppuram. That land was acquired. That endowment was for Veda Padashala. That land was acquired by government of Tamil Nadu to do Periyar Samathopuram. That is, you acquire the land. Okay, I know right-wingers would be angry with me, but it will be a proper example, I think. You acquire the lands of Sabarmati Ashram and build a memorial for Godse. Will the government agree to it? Or will the leftists agree to it? Godse deserves a memorial or not, something else. I'm not coming into that. Similarly, our practices on February 3rd, in less than a month from now, Annadurai will be felicitated in all Hindu and all Shaivite and Vishnu temples, and there will be Annadanam in his name. Annadurai called for the burning of Periyapuranam and Kambaramayam. Again, would you do Annadanam on Godse's death anniversary in Sabarmati Ashram? So these are the questions we need to ask ourselves. The amount, the extent by which our rights have been taken away. Next slide. I'll just give a few examples and move on. You saw that auditorium thing. That's from Madras High Court. And I'll give you a recent example. There was this Ativardar, where Kanchipuram, the regular pujas for the main deity was stopped because there was so much crowd coming for the Ativardar, and all the pujaris wanted to be there and not at the main sanctum. They stopped it. So there is a community there. They went to the court and they said it cannot be stopped. We have records to show that all pujas were done the last time Ativardar happened, that is 40 years ago, and even before that, 80 years ago, and they gave photocopies. The judge asked them, "Oh, okay, where are the originals? Bring them for the next hearing." And the next hearing was in a week. These people, this community people, with great hopes and very confident that orders will be passed, they brought the original resolution book and all that. The judge took that resolution book and gave it to the executive officer, saying these are temple records, they should be with you. Arey Baba, there is no order ever appointing an executive officer. He is there by fraud. You challenge it separately. Just an example how Madras High Court can be. Kerala, one of us from this group, Indic Collective, went and questioned the annuity given for the lands taken over from Hindu temples and charities is a pittance. It should be increased. You are from Tamil Nadu, you have no locus here, dismissed. We go on appeal to Supreme Court. Supreme Court says, give us some more information, some more details. They delay the case. We give some more information. Who said you don't have locus? Go back to Kerala High Court. Odisha, the beautiful judgments have come. The lands are not for the deity, or the lands are for the deity, nothing for the mutt. And today the mutts are being demolished. You approach the Odisha High Court, you get roars of silence. Your matter is not even listed. Karnataka, when funds were taken during the last floods, and from the Kukke Subramania temple alone, I think 3 crores were taken for the flood relief by government, not by the temple, by the government. And somebody challenged it. The first day, the judges are all furious. How can you take temple money and all that? So government should file reply and all. Within 2-3 days. The matter comes, the next hearing, the judge says, what's wrong in doing dharma? Why are you busybodies objecting to this? Case dismissed. Bombay, a sect which is as good as in character, in a denominational sense, in a sampradaya sense, in everything, in the historic tradition and all that, like the Chidambaram Teachers, the Badaves of Pandharpur. Bombay High Court said, you are not a denomination. Supreme Court said, Bombay High Court has given a 900-page judgment. We don't want to get into it. Case dismissed. Appeal dismissed. So, if you have to debate who really has robbed your temple rights, we can do a separate day-long session on that. So, coming to what has happened because of all this. Hindus are a minority in Kerala, period. No doubt about it. Even as 60 or 70%, they would be without voice. Now they are a minority. They are a minority in Kanyakumari district because 20,000 acres were taken over by Tamil Nadu government, and in return 18,000 rupees per annum is being given. That is 90 paise per acre. So why do we attach so much importance to the lands endowed? Because they are Hindu spaces. If you take away the land, somebody else is going to come there. You take away a Hindu land, a church might come there, a mosque might come there, or an institution run by them will come there. The Hindu space is gone. Today, thankfully, we got a stay order, thanks to some good judges in High Court. Tamil Nadu government wanted to give the temple lands to the encroachers themselves. Somewhere I heard that if somebody has done something to a daughter, marry that your daughter to that. Some religion says something like that, not our religion. So we have serious doubts about the intention of the Tamil Nadu government. Just look at that. What do we do every year, every month, every day? We enrich the other religion by sending our children to their schools, by sending our sick to their hospitals. And in Kerala, you can't, just start a hospital. There is no land available. You can't start a school in a place where there is at least 50% Hindu population. You can't. Because you lost your land. Kodal Manikam temple has lost more lands than any individual temple. Now I come to this. I want to put this across to you. We've been discussing this in Indic Collective. Sai has been doing something about it. Ravi Lochan is doing something about it. But think about this. Think what kind of a government we have in Kerala and what it can do. Now they are saying this is public money. The Trivandrum temple wealth is not public money. It is the Trivandrum deity's money. It has been there for 20 centuries. You have bushels, baskets of Roman coins which are 2000 years old. The Kerala Chera kingdom kings have maintained it, not just in the last 250-300 years. They have maintained it for 2000 years. Dedicated, loyal Rajavamsa, Padmanabhaswamy. This money, somehow the presence of it is now exposed and everybody knows about it. It needs to be safeguarded. There is a wonderful proposal by a, I don't want to mention his name now, because, should I mention his name? No. Okay. Okay. So we have some very good proposal. The money retained there, and Government of India issues bonds, and with the bonds income, Padmanabhaswamy temple will have income 4 times that of Tirupati temple. 4 times of Tirupati temple. I'm not joking. This is something that can happen if only we Hindus show some resolution, show some bill. It can get 15,000 crores per annum, and we can reclaim Kerala. We can reclaim South India. South India is today a problem. From Orissa, just okay. Let's forget what BJP is doing. They are bringing an act to take over Uttarakhand temples. They are not releasing Pandharpur temple. They did Shani Shingnapur. Okay, we have great grievance there. But see where they have weaknesses. Orissa, they are not a majority. Karnataka, the majority is wafer thin. Andhra, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, they have absolutely no hopes in the near future. But if Modi's 5 trillion economy is to have a boost, if Hindus have to be brought under one umbrella of Artha and Dharma, Hindus can be brought under one umbrella of serious beneficiaries. Then you can make Hindus think as a unit, vote as a unit. That is possible. We have to have leaders to think like that. This is, I think, my final slide. Our temples and our growth were always connected. Always connected. We lost it in the last 150 years, and that's why we do not have our own institutions. We do not have our own hospitals. We do not have our own schools. We can bring it back by linking everything to the temple system. And the one question which is being asked, if you take temple from government control, who will run them? The same question that the British asked, if we give you freedom, how will you run your country? We have a robust system which we do not want to discuss now. We'll have another session on that. Excellent system. We will segregate the administration of the temple from the administration of the properties. With these advanced and rigid rules of accounting, auditing, and publishing these audit reports, we will give a system which is nowhere HR can be compared to the government control. This will be a beautiful, good system, and not this system of HRNC control, where from 1986, 1.3 million audit objections are pending resolution. We'll have a wonderful system of governance. Don't have worries about that. All we need to do is get Hindus stand united in the temple matter. They should push their personal agenda behind and keep the temple in the front. So if courts and government has robbed our temples, what's stopping us from getting them back? That is the question I want to leave in your minds. Thank you very much. Hari Om.